Good morning, everyone. We're on site here starting another big mulch renovation. As you can see, these beds are pretty overgrown. You can see all the shrubs have really, they haven't been maintained quite as much as they should have been. We've got a ton of weeds all in the beds. Got some palms that need to be trimmed. You can see over here in the other bed, just needs to be brought back into shape. Everything needs to be cut back down to size, and we need to put a fresh edge on all these beds, and then put a new layer of mulch. But as you can see, our crew has our work cut out for us today. But when it starts like this, it's always nice to see the end result, and this is going to look really beautiful at the end of the day. So you can see kind of what we're starting with here, and it's going to be a drastic difference once we get done. So I'll show you the rest of the beds we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim back all these shrubs pretty drastically. We're going to cut all of this, the weeds and grass and everything that's grown in the beds almost to the ground. We're going to spray it with weed killer to kill everything. We might even have to come back one more time in about 3 or 4 weeks and spot spray any weeds that still come through the mulch, just because there's so many. Got this bed here in the back. You can see this gardenia that's very overgrown. We're going to drastically cut that back, remove some of these shrubs from behind it, kind of thin this bed out. And you can see this bed has pretty much been taken over by weeds. So we're going to knock all that down, spray it, shape up all the shrubs, put a nice edge on all the beds around the house, and put down our mulch. And like I said, this is going to be night and day difference. So that's what we've got to work with. I'll post another video once we get done, and I don't think you're gonna recognize the beds on this house. It's gonna be a drastic difference. And there's Tim ready to get to work. We have just finished up this big mulch renovation. It took longer than we expected. We ended up taking out a lot more debris than we originally thought that we would. But you can see it turned out beautifully, and this is a total transformation for this landscape, as we said it would be. See here, we trimmed up all the palms, drastically trimmed up a lot of all the shrubs, taken out some. We ended up with about, I'd say, 5 full pickup loads of debris from everything we removed from this bed and that bed right there, and then the bed in the back. But you can see that it just completely transformed this landscape for these homeowners. You see all the shrubs, all the rose bushes, everything's trimmed back. All the weeds were trimmed down and sprayed. Now they did have some massive weeds that have been growing for months or even years, so it might take a couple more treatments to be able to kill those, but you can only do what you can do. But you can see that we ended up removing, there were massive amounts of shrubs and bushes and weeds in behind here, and you couldn't even see into this bed, but we've chopped all that to the ground, greatly thinned it out. Same thing with all the beds. This had all been taken over by grass. We reestablished that bed, cut our nice edge around all of our beds so that it'll be easy to maintain and keep the grass out in the future. Applied our pre-emergent, which will help keep or prevent new weeds from germinating for the next 6 to 8 months. It's not going to do anything about the existing ones, but it will help keep new ones from germinating. Let me step back here so you can see this whole bed. Took about 2 feet off of each side of this big gardenia bush. It was huge, and ended up taking out some shrubs that were behind it, just digging them out completely. But a huge difference. And that's another project complete. You know, this took 2 guys that are experienced with the right tools that do this every day in this kind of heat. It took us probably 14 or 15 hours. I would say for your average homeowner that's not used to doing this kind of work, that doesn't have the experience, that doesn't have the right tools, you're probably looking at a good week-long project, if not more. So it's definitely a big undertaking. But if it's something you're interested in having us do, we'd be happy to do it for you. I'm sure these homeowners are going to be very pleased. And Tim did a great job. Good job, everyone. If you need us, give us a call. We'd be happy to come.